Hello, my beautiful Divine Collective. This is Phoenix Dragon Queen coming to you with an NLP. Now, remember, NLP is neurological programming, it's learning how to reprogram your brain in a positive manner. Too many source, but I will take the first one. Lost performative. Okay. What else do you have to say, source? Surface structure. Remember that time is fluid. Whenever you see this message is when you're meant to see it. Clear your perspective. And source is telling me to take this one. Change the question. What else do we have, source? Positive assumptions. We've had that before, along with change the question. Okay, let's get some fresh energy for the collective. Whoa. The movie scene. Mental rehearsal. Okay, what else do we have? Overlapping systems. The mirror effect. Model operators. Okay, that's interesting. Just a moment. I'm going to get a few more, so I'm rearranging to make room on the table. What else do we have? The power of yet. The word yet. Y-E-T. State precedes strategy. Breath to mastery. Internal time code. All right, this seems interesting. So, at the bottom of the deck, we have ecological check. True success is holistic. It serves you, your relationships, and your environment. Before you set any goal or make a big decision, perform an ecological check to ensure it aligns with every aspect of your life. Okay, that was interesting. Ecological check. Okay, so what I'm getting from that is, okay, yes, you have these great ideas and you're ready to make a change and you're ready to step forward. Okay, and I'm not trying to hold anybody back. I want y'all to jump out there and do what you feel you need to do to make a positive change. But what this card is also saying is, okay, before you make that jump, take a moment, look at your environment, look at the relationships around you, the positive ones that you want to keep, okay? And ask yourself, well, how much of my life is this going to change? And then am I ready for that? Okay? Ecological check. First one out was lost performative. A lost performative is a belief that's stated as truth. But the source or authority behind it is missing. For example, if you catch yourself saying it's wrong to put yourself first, pause and ask, says who? By questioning a belief's origin, you can reclaim authorship of your values and guiding principles. Okay, I get that. I do. I get that. So, there's different little sayings that we grew up with, a girl isn't supposed to do that, or a guy isn't supposed to do that. Well, who says? Where did that all come from? Are you still abiding by some ancient law that they made up back in the 50s and the 40s. I mean, come on. It's the year 2026. That stuff doesn't exist anymore, you know? Surface structure. Surface structure refers to the actual works people use, while the deeper meaning may lie beneath. This card reminds you that what's said isn't always what's meant. Pay attention to language and explore what's beneath the surface. Okay, I do this in my everyday life because I also know how to read micro expressions and body language. So I can tell that, somebody might not actually mean what they're saying, if you get my drift. You can spot those liars. You really can. You just have to tap in and know it when you see it. Clear your perspective. A stressful thought is often a streak on the mental glass, not a true reflection of reality. When tension builds, ask yourself, what might I be projecting onto this situation? The truth is often simpler and softer than it first appears. Okay? Take a step back and clear your perspective. Remember that one card we had about the person on this side and you're on this side, and, in your mind's eye, get into the center and help each other see the whole picture? That's pretty much the same thing. Just word it differently. Clear your perspective. Change the question. The quality of your questions shapes the quality of your life. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? Ask, what can I do to change this pattern? Changing the question will point you towards solutions instead of problems. So I mentioned a couple of reads back, I said, Source is going to make you repeat the same situations until you learn the lesson. So if something bad happened to you 2 years ago, and then something just bad happened to you just now, which is exactly what happened to you 2 years ago, analyze it. What did you do 2 years ago to lead to that situation? And what did you do just now to lead to that same scenario? I guarantee you will realize that you chose wrong. You didn't learn the lesson. Okay? So change the question. Ask yourself, what can I do differently? Positive assumptions. In conflict, assume positive intent. Ask, what might they have been trying to achieve? When you reframe the motivation, you soften the emotional charge and open space for resolution. Sometimes, especially when you get 2 sigmas or 2 alpha personalities together, man, they're going to bang heads like crazy. That's just the way it is. And sometimes you need to just take a step back and try and figure out where the other person was coming from and work it out, work it out. The movie scene. Zoom out to see a situation as part of a larger story. Imagine the current moment as a single scene in a movie. What's the context? And what's the ultimate resolution? For example, a setback at work may feel huge right now, but from a higher perspective, it might be the catalyst for long-term success. Okay? I like that. I like that idea. Mental rehearsal. Each time you rehearse a desired outcome in your mind, you reinforce neural pathways that support success. Later, when it counts, your body recalls what it's been practicing. What wires together? Use this to your advantage. Mental rehearsal. I need to try that. Overlapping systems. People process information differently. Some prefer visual cues, others prefer auditory or kinesthetic. Touch is what that word means. Using overlapping representational systems, you can bridge communication gaps. Speak in images, sounds, and feelings to ensure your message resonates with everyone, regardless of their preferred modality. So, for me, I'm a little bit of both as far as auditory and visual. I don't really care too much about feel so much, but I do know some people really do have that thing. They don't eat certain foods because the texture throws them off. That is a real thing. So when you're trying to explain something to somebody, like I'm using the cards, okay? I'm an oracle. I don't really need the cards. I can just talk to you and you can get the message. But the cards, the colors, the pictures, it helps drive the message home, okay? Remember when you were back in school and you were doing projects and, if you were in high school and using computers, you had to do a PowerPoint and you needed to add pictures to it. And your teacher talked to you about using the white space of the paper when you were writing out a paper. That's one of the reasons why they have the whole APA style, is to give the paper white space. So it's easier for someone to read it. That is really the point of all of that. Sorry, I just had to go on that little tangent there. The mirror effect. People feel most safe when they feel seen. Mirroring builds connection with gentle aligning. These words, I tell you, these words are small. Mirroring builds connection by gently aligning with another's tone, pace, posture, or breathing. Don't mimic, but match. Subtle alignment says we're on the same wavelength, okay? And you see, so these two people, they're standing there. They're standing there relaxed. Both of their arms are in front. They're standing tall, but they're relaxed. They're mirroring the posture. Okay? When you're standing there and you're talking to somebody and they've got their arms crossed and everything, that's a sign that they're not ready to receive what you're telling them. So whenever I'm in a meeting at work, even if I don't like the message that I'm hearing, if I catch myself folding my arms, I immediately drop them. I just do. It's a conscious thing that I've been working on for years because I want to receive the message that is being given. Model operators. Model operators are words that influence how we perceive our possibilities. This card invites you to shift your language from restrictive words like I have to empowering ones like I choose to. Changing these operators in your self-talk allows you to create a greater sense of choice and personal power. I choose to. I should. I must. I have to. Okay? I'm going to take interest in that in my personal world and pay attention to the words that I use. The power of yet. Y-E-T. Use the word yet to shift from finality to flexibility. I haven't made it happen yet sends a very different signal than I've failed. One invites solutions while the other shuts them down. Use yet to remind you that the story isn't over. Okay? Your story isn't over. Not yet. As long as you're still breathing, as long as you're still walking, talking, your story is not over, and you can rewrite it at any point in time when you're ready. State precedes strategy. When things aren't working, the problem may not be your strategy. It may be your state. A tense body and scattered thoughts can sabotage even the best plan. Remember, state precedes strategy. Reset your energy, then begin again with clarity. I even have to do that sometimes for these reads. Okay, you guys don't see what happens behind the scenes. You know, there's a little meditation process. I have to clear out the day's work and you know, everybody else's energy. And, you know, I'll start a read. And if it's the same message as before, I stop. I regroup myself. I ask Source to take my personal energy out of the message. And then I begin again. You know, it really is a process. And you guys will get there too, where you're doing that on a regular basis. Breath to mastery. Before your mind can reset, your body must feel safe. Regulated breathing immediately signals your nervous system that you're not in danger. Even if your thoughts are spiraling, this card encourages you to use your breath as a switchboard for your emotional state. Okay? I told you guys there's a fire going on in my area. And when I first saw the smoke, I come out of my house, I'm about to go to the grocery store, and I can just see the smoke and the flames. And immediately my heart started pounding. I know that there's houses up there. You know, I immediately started worrying about people. And then I just had to stop and breathe because I was okay. It wasn't an immediate danger to myself. So therefore I needed to relax. Okay, that is truly a thing. Learn how to breathe. Learn breath work. If you don't know what breath work is, then please look it up. Seriously. Learn how to breathe. Slow your breath down. In, out, deep breaths, short breaths. There's all kinds of different techniques, okay? Last but not least, internal time code. Time is not just a linear concept. It's how you mentally organize your experiences. Examine how you think about time and how that offsets your actions. Are you too focused on the past or overly concerned with the future? Adjust your internal time code to ensure a balanced, productive approach to life. I have said have balance, have balance, have balance. I don't know how many times. It truly is one of the keys to living this life, this world, this existence. When I do skip a read or something like that, it's because I had to. It's because I needed to have balance between my spiritual life and my practical one. Okay? I mean, I still do all the things you do. I go to work every day. I have to do the laundry. I have to cook something to eat, this, that, and the third. But I also make time to deliver the messages that I am supposed to give. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this NLP. This one was definitely one of my longer ones. I enjoyed giving it to you. Peace, love, and enlightenment, as always. This is Phoenix Dragon Queen, signing off.